Hello, this is Santiago with Leadbetter Swing Aids. Now here to give you a tip on how to hit longer drives, right? Where does power come from? How do you want to feel that impact? And how to maximize that powerful straight drive. So setup is key for hitting a driver. And again, a lot of information out there that kind of makes it a little bit confusing. So I'm going to borrow this driver for a second, Brock, and kind of show you a little bit on the setup. So what you see with a setup, as a lot of people say, is you want to feel like you kind of tilt back and hit up on the ball. So what happens is if you don't do that correctly, you're going to end up or kind of over exaggerating that feel, as you see a lot of people actually then instead of tilting up or behind the ball, they actually kind of just shrink a little bit from their trailing side. So they get their, in my case, my right side, and I become kind of like shorter on this side, and now I say, okay, well, now I'm hitting up. I say, well, you kind of are, but you're not generating any power because you're kind of like stuck on your right side. So the ideal way to do it is when you actually set up to the ball, you get to see how the ball position is inside my left heel, and my body weight is still in the center. So from me rotating and bringing the club to the ball, you get to see that it's a very subtle, but my spine and my shoulders just kind of just tilt slightly up. That's all the tilt that you need. You don't need to over exaggerate this tilt because your body on its own is going to want to tilt just to get into that ball. So what happens is as I'm swinging, you get to see that my club is going to arrive at the ball as it's just slightly moving up, right? So it's the same effect as if I take my hand and just roll it forward. You get to see how it's slightly moving upwards, and it's not like it's moving upwards, it's just literally the ball, I'm moving my hand to the left side and it's my right hand, so it's going to continue to move up as it goes. So by setting up neutral and hitting this ball, you get to see that I'm going to be arriving at the ball as my club is starting to move up, and that's what hitting up really means. It doesn't mean that you have to force it and fake it, as I see this all the time where golfers kind of hang on the right side. They become very short and shrinking on the right side and literally throw their hands up in the air. That, yes, you are hitting up, but you're literally hitting up. That ball is going to go all over the place, right? So what hitting up on the ball means is that you're hitting as the club is starting to come up on the curve. Remember that the swing arc kind of is a little bit of a curve. When you're hitting your irons, you're hitting on the flat side of the curve. When you're hitting your woods, you're hitting on the upside of the curve. So that's really what this means. So try to keep it simple so it becomes efficient, right? So one of my favorite drills, I'm going to bring my colleague here, Brock, to show you how to do it. So one of my favorite drills is to really feel what hitting up is all about, right? So Brock is going to take his setup. So show us that great setup, Brock. As you notice from his setup, he's setting up on the center, and the fact that the club is a little bit forward, see, that gives him plenty of tilt. So he doesn't need to search for more tilt than this, right? If his weight is on the center, you see how the right side is a little lower than his left side, and that's it. So that's his tilt. I'm gonna put my boomerang just about, I don't know, roughly 3 to 4 inches in front of the ball. So as he's hitting the ball, he gets to see that the club is on the flat side, right a couple inches behind the ball, and as it arrives at the ball, it's already moving up. And at this point, it's going to miss the boomerang because he's going to be hitting the ball as the club is on the upside of the curve, right? Very simple, very efficient. So, Brock, show us how it's done. Show us a good setup. Get that ball inside the left heel. Just a very slight tilt. So you see, he doesn't have to over tilt because his body wants to tilt anyway, right? So now when he makes a swing, you're going to see that his club is going to arrive the ball on the upswing, and he's going to miss that boomerang. It's a great drill for improving your drives. Look at that. Brock, that's probably one of the best drives I've ever seen you hit. That was great.
Yeah, it felt great.
But you see how, look at what happened there. So if you see the demonstration, his club, as it's hitting on the way up, right, it arrived at the ball as it's on the upwards curve, and it missed the boomerang, so it worked out perfect. Great drill to really get a feel for driving. So try this, and you're going to see your driving is going to really improve.